Hello, friends. So, by the way, it's September and Digital Dharma is available now at all bookstores. And you can see if it helps you create the prompts to explore personal well being, be your research assistant, and also explore spirituality, elevate spiritual intelligence. Also, as you know, digitaldeepak.ai is available to answer any of your questions, particularly on health, well-being, and spirituality, but also other topics that you might find interesting from my point of view. You do not need to download an app. You can go to your browser and go directly to digitaldeepak.ai, ask any question, and engage in a conversation. I'd love to know your feedback, and I think together we can explore fundamental reality and much more, which has been my interest for the last 40 years. DigitalDeepak.ai has access to everything I've done, almost, and soon to everything and that I've done in the last 40 years. Okay, today I would like to share with you an argument that the physical world, including our bodies and brains, are symbolic representation of modes of knowing and experience in non-local awareness. In other words, this body, along with its mind, and everything it experiences, including other bodies, minds, and the entire physical world, is a projection of divine consciousness working through the human mind. Can we explore this? Yes, let's start. So, right now, the materialist worldview dominates. And according to the materialist worldview, the physical world and is all that exists. And that consciousness comes from the brain. That's the materialistic worldview. This has significant problems. It cannot adequately explain what has been called the hard problem of consciousness. It cannot adequately explain how neural networks create thoughts, feelings, images, self-reflection, etc. How subjective first experience um, emerges from the physical matter of the brain. Right now, also, the materialist worldview struggles to account for empirical phenomena that suggest consciousness is not reducible to the brain, such as near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, telepathy, and even the placebo effect. So let's look at the model that I've been exploring for the last 40 years. And this view is, of course, not mainstream at the moment. It says that consciousness is fundamental and primary, while the physical world is secondary and derived. Consciousness is the ground of all being, the ultimate reality. The physical world, including our bodies and brains, are symbolic representations that arise within consciousness. They are modes of knowing and experience in consciousness and not separate material substances. Non-local consciousness posits that consciousness is not localized to individual brains or bodies. It is non-local, unitary, and undivided. Our individual sense of self and personal consciousness is an appearance or aspect of that greater field of non-local consciousness. Our physical forms are like icons or symbols within this greater field of consciousness, representing different modes of experience and expression. Matter is a symbol. By the way, Sufis have said this, and so have non-dual traditions. The physical world is not made of solid, objective matter, but is a symbolic representation of consciousness. Quantum physics has shown that subatomic particles do not have definite properties until observed, suggesting the physical world is not independent of consciousness. Matter is more akin to information or a virtual reality than a concrete substance in the symbolic language that I'm trying to express. Matter is a symbolic language that consciousness uses to represent and experience itself. So this is a symbolic language. This is a symbolic language. The brain may be functioning as an interface. The brain does not produce consciousness, but acts as an interface between the non-local field of consciousness and our individual experiences, and our individual bodies are actually experiences. Our bodies, our minds are experiences, symbolic experiences. Think of a radio receiver tuning into a particular station. When the brain is damaged, it is the static on the radio, the signal, which is still there, but the interface is impaired. Consciousness itself is not, therefore, generated by the brain in this argument. So, in conclusion, the physical world and our bodies and brains are not separate material substances, but symbolic representations of modes of knowing and experience within non-local consciousness. The materialist view that consciousness arises from the brain is flawed, in my opinion. Consciousness is primary and the source of the physical world, not the other way around. The brain is an interface, not the origin of consciousness. So, what do you think? Ask me any question once again on digitaldeepak.ai, and let's go from there. And together, let's explore reality, because we, the real I, is the eye of the universe. In that eye of the universe is a modulation called I am Deepak Chopra. But before I am Deepak Chopra, I am.